Denzel Washington, Jared Leto, and Rami Malek in one movie. Let's see what we got. Hey everybody, we made it! We're in the HBO Max! Yes, I just got into HBO Max. They just sent me the screener for The Little Things. I watched it. I'm going to talk about it. And hopefully, fingers crossed, this will be the beginning of all of the HBO Max movies coming in 2021. I'll be getting early screeners, hopefully, knock on wood. But yeah, I was super elated when I got a screener from them. They reached out, or I reached out. There was a little bit of back and forth. And yeah, I'm thrilled because, in my opinion, HBO Max is where the majority of the movies, the big movies, the great movies, the Godzilla vs. Kong, Mortal Kombat, The Matrix, that's where the movies are going to be in 2021. So I was thrilled to get this screener. Let's talk about it. Directed by John Lee Hancock, who's known for directing movies like The Blind Side, Saving Mr. Banks, The Founder, which is my personal favorite, Michael Keaton, about McDonald's. The Little Things is about Denzel Washington, who plays Deke, a burnt-out Kern County, California deputy sheriff, who teams up with Baxter, played by Rami Malek, a crack LASD detective, to nab a serial killer. Deke's nose for the little things proves eerily accurate, but his willingness to circumvent the rules embroils Baxter in a soul-shattering dilemma. Meanwhile, Deke must wrestle with the dark secrets from his past. Or if you go from the synopsis from IMDb, 2 cops track down a serial killer. I don't write them. So yeah, I saw this trailer not that long ago. There wasn't a ton of marketing for it early on. You know, that could just be a thing of 2021. It seems like a lot of movies now have marketing right before they come out. I saw one trailer, and they covered it on The Real Rejects, and at the very end of it, they say, oh my god, did they spoil the ending? Well, without spoiling the ending, I could tell you this much. No, they don't. Everything that you see in the trailer is there, but it's kind of mixed around enough that it's actually a decent trailer, and what you get is better than the trailer, in my opinion. So, let's start with the negatives. A lot of people are kind of crapping on this movie, saying that, you know, it takes a little bit too much from Seven or Zodiac and stuff like that. And I do understand why they might say that. It does take place in 1990. You look at Seven, you have like the wiser cop who's older, he's on his way out, he's this close to retirement, as it so to speak. He shouldn't even be on this case. And then you have the younger, up-and-coming cop who's, you know, very overzealous and has a lot of gumption to him, but he just doesn't quite understand the finesse of the society that he's in yet. But put together, they make a really good team. Seven did this really well. Seven was also directed by David Fincher, and it feels like Hollywood has been trying to replicate David Fincher ever since. Even here in The Little Things. You want a scene in the bar? We give you a scene in the bar. You want the movie to have a scene where your 2 characters are out in the middle of nowhere? We give you that scene. But it's not the same. I think it's a little shortchanging to say that's the same movie. There's a lot that's different, and they're 2 completely different movies that should be viewed completely separately. I would really like to get an opinion of somebody who's maybe in like their early 20s, who hasn't even seen the movie Seven, to get their opinion of this movie, because I think it's a little bit too biased to the people who love David Fincher. With that said, I think Denzel Washington is the most engaging character in this movie. Yes, you do have Rami Malek, and yes, you do have Jared Leto, and they're good enough, but I feel like they're kind of hindered by the script. I do love the genre. I've always loved the genre of like the police procedural detective story of trying to solve the mystery. And I even enjoyed that mystery and how it unfolds, and I can totally appreciate that. Where this movie falls flat is that we don't really get to know Rami Malek's character very well. It doesn't go deep enough. It feels a little bit surface level. Jared Leto even, he's an interesting, engaging character. I want to know more about these 3 characters, but we only got above the surface because the movie was too busy to move on to the next scene and not really take the time that you would need to do. I think it's also unfair to compare it to a Fincher movie because Fincher has a very unique style. This movie feels a little bit more like what we should have gotten for season 2 of True Detective. I think if this was a TV show, it would be praised way higher than it currently is. Personally, I enjoyed the hell out of it. It's 2 hours long. I didn't feel the runtime. It kept moving. It was engaging. I wanted to know what was going to happen. I wanted to know how it was going to unfold. They keep giving you these little pieces of the puzzle that seem to kind of make sense, but then they throw you like a red herring, and then I was engaged the entire time because I just love this genre. This is a dead genre. We don't really get a lot of movies that are like Seven or Zodiac or Mindhunter. We get them once every couple of years, and they're not always great. So yeah, if you're gonna watch Seven right before this movie, I could see why people would be disappointed. But as its own movie, I found it to be very enjoyable. I thought all three of them coming together, there's a scene where they're in an interrogation room, and the three of them are kind of circling each other, kind of bouncing off one another. I thought that was great. They all kind of brought it. It was a little bit different than what I had seen from these actors before. I've only seen Rami Malek in Mr. Robot and as Freddie Mercury. Seeing him play the inverse of the Mr. Robot character, now being a cop instead of a criminal, was really something different. It was something that I really enjoyed. Even if I feel like they could have sprinkled in a little bit more to nuance his character. You know, when you watch movies like Seven, you like Brad Pitt and Gwyneth Paltrow and Morgan Freeman because we know a little bit about them. We know a little bit, they give us little nooks and crannies of who these people are to empathize them, to make us feel like we know them. I didn't feel that with these characters outside of Denzel, so it felt a little bit flat. With that said, guys, I really enjoyed The Little Things. It's on HBO Max this Friday. I would highly recommend checking it out, and I'm going to give The Little Things a B. Like I said, I think this is like a great season of TV, kind of like True Detective. This should have been the season 2 of True Detective. 2 decent stars, it could have been fleshed out into a couple more episodes, we could have gotten to know the characters a little bit more, but for what it is, for a genre film that I personally love, I found it highly enjoyable. In closing, guys, I really enjoyed The Little Things. It's not a perfect movie. The characters could have been fleshed out a little bit more, and yes, there are some familiar plot points that you have seen before, but all things considered, it was highly enjoyable. I would give this movie a solid watch. Go check it out. It's going to be in theaters tomorrow as well as on HBO Max for 31 days. I've been John. You've been burned. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down below what do you think of The Little Things, and I will see you next time.